G7 as powerful as they claim? What if we told you that BRICS had already surpassed the G7 and the West is too terrified to recognize it? BRICS has surpassed the G7 in global importance without your knowledge because the media failed to highlight the fact. People are unaware that the BRICS nations control roughly half of the world's population and 41% of global oil production. So, why are we still claiming the G7 is the world's leader, while BRICS dominates in every critical area? Let us find out. When contemplating economic power, GDP is typically the first thing that comes to mind. However, not all GDP metrics are equivalent. GDP measured by purchasing power parity is the most important factor in this discussion. PPP is a measure that accounts for price discrepancies across countries. It provides a clearer picture of what people may buy with their wages and the true economic value generated within countries. And this is the bombshell. The BRICS countries now account for 32% of world GDP, or PPP, with the G7 trailing at 29%. This is more than simply a symbolic milestone. It marks the beginning of an economic reality. To understand how BRICS managed to outperform the G7, we must examine the specific dynamics underlying this transition. Countries like China, India, have been expanding at dizzying speed over the last few decades. China's strategic concentration on infrastructure development, manufacturing, and export-driven growth has helped it construct an economic empire. South African trade has made significant contributions to the BRICS. Meanwhile, India has emerged as a global leader in technology and services, thanks to its large and young workforce that drives businesses ranging from information technology to pharmaceuticals. So, what distinguishes BRICS is its potential to create actual, concrete riches. Unlike the G7, which relies heavily on financial speculation and services, the BRICS economies are based on production, whether it's manufacturing in China, energy in Russia, or agricultural in Brazil. This type of economic output has a far-reaching long-term influence, creating value that exists not only on paper but also in reality. Although the G7 continues to dominate nominal GDP, this does not reflect the full story. The purchasing power of the BRICS nations demonstrates their ability to sustain economic expansion without relying on the crutches that have long supported the Western world. But let us not ignore the significance of their most recent growth. With the addition of the UAE, Egypt, Ethiopia, and Iran, BRICS has grown even stronger. These countries contribute resources, trading channels, and strategic influence, strengthening BRICS supremacy. The G7's grip on the global economy is slipping, and the BRICS are more than ready to take the lead. From an economic sovereignty standpoint, the shift in GDP PPP reflects a broader rejection of Western control. The BRICS countries are no longer willing to play by the rules of a system created by and for the West. Instead, they are expanding their economic networks by using the G7's power and forming new relationships with one another. This is economic freedom on a scale unprecedented since the end of colonialism. With BRICS leading in GDP, the next question is how their population size gives them an even greater advantage on a global scale.